Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back, and honestly, I'm very excited about this video because oh, my glasses are so dirty. I've had this idea in my mind for a while, and I just haven't gotten to sit down and do it, so I'm really excited to be filming it today because this video for me is like especially convicting because these are all products that hype has totally sucked me into buying, and not to say that these products aren't bad or, you know, that the brands or the collaborators didn't work really hard on them or that they're not like cool products, but these are products that were hyped to death and I bought them and I have not touched them since. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one because I feel like this one wasn't like the most hyped out of all of them, but I definitely heard a lot of people talking about this, so much so that it actually like convinced me to buy it, and that's the PIXI Glow Mist. This is available at Target. It has a lot of cool skincare ingredients in it. It's supposed to be like a nourishing mist, and it's pretty much, I mean, in a nutshell, oil for your face that you can just like spray on your face. And it's supposed to kind of give you like a radiating glow, but the problem with this is that the sprayer is not great. It's not really like fine, so you do get kind of some dots and it does kind of get everywhere. If you use too much of it at once, it makes your face super oily, and I found that with my combo skin it was kind of hard to place this perfectly. And I also think it's just kind of like, I don't know, you have to be very careful with this product, and it's hard to be careful like with a spray, you know? It's not like a fine mist, and the glow it gives is kind of pretty if you use it right. I mean, I obviously have highlighter on, and I feel like this did kind of make my highlighter melt into my skin a little easier, but like I said, this is not like an easy to use product, and while it's kind of worth it to use it, I just can't get I just can't bring myself to pull it out and use it and like have to guide it onto my face and then blot in the, I don't know, just when I have other things in my collection that I would rather reach for, this is just not something I think about using in my day-to-day or even like on special occasions. In the same category as sprays, this one was monumental, and I mean, these sold out so quick, and honestly it's still in the box. That just proves to you that I have not even touched this one. This is the ColourPop setting spray. This is the first one they ever released. I don't know if they still sell these anymore. This was their crystal setting spray, and they had them 2 primer sprays and 2 setting sprays, and they were in like crystal colors. Like they had a green one and a blue one and a pink one and a purple one, I think. And I bought backups like an idiot. Like I never even finished my first one. I had the blue one and I gave it to a friend because I never ever used it. So this is like the backup one that I bought. This is in the shade Adventurine, or the flavor or the scent, I don't know. They're not scented, they're just like kind of colored. So this one's like kind of green colored, but this was just like, again, the worst spray I had ever used in my life. The primer one was good because it doesn't matter if like a primer spray is bad because you'll never see it, it'll just get covered up. But when actual setting sprays are like bad, it's a whole other story. I won't spray it for you because I'm actually about to do a declutter of my sprays, and this is literally the first to go. But this was just like, I mean, everybody wanted them, and like they were sold out within minutes. I mean, like they didn't even have the one that I wanted. Like I wanted the purple one, I think, and like that one was sold out. Like they really, like, they went fast because I think it was the first ever like drugstore setting spray to ever come onto the market. So everyone like freaked out, and like this was when ColourPop was just starting to really expand. And I just can't believe I got sucked into this. The Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder. Honestly, this had a lot of hype there for like a hot minute, and it came in like really cutesy kind of packaging, and it might look like I've used it a lot. This is how it came. It came with like half the jar full. I thought that was so lame and just kind of like weird for the company to do. Like, if it's not gonna be full to the brim, squish the packaging down. I just thought this was crazy. But I bought this and I kind of liked it at first because this was, I think, my first ever like indie brand purchase, and I just haven't touched it since. Like, it's a mess in here. I don't remember like liking it very much, and I just never pulled it back out, and I've started using other powders, and this one, it just isn't even a thought in my mind. The ABH Brow Definer, I mean, like, this was like supposed to be like better than the Brow Wiz, but I got this and I put it in my drawer to use, and then I never touched it. I touched it pretty recently because I realized I hadn't used it and it broke, so that was fun. And there's like the other piece in there, so I might as well just throw this bit away. Just like unbelievable. I don't know. When I did use this, which was pretty recently, literally for the first time. It was just okay. I felt like this was supposed to be like, I don't know, it was supposed to make your brows bolder than the Brow Wiz, and it had this different shape, but I just felt like this was like not easy to use. I don't like how thick the actual like pencil canister is compared to the Brow Wiz, which is a lot more slender and easier to manipulate on the eye. I felt like this one was just kind of a little more stressful to use in my opinion, and it's not like awful, it's just kind of like a little more frustrating than the products that I'm used to. But I feel like that all comes down again to my typical brow routine, and once you get settled into one, transitioning into something different is a lot harder than it is for other people who use this product. And the first one is the JACLYN Hill Original Morphe palette, and this was actually included in a video I did a year ago, I think, where it was like my favorite fall palettes, and this was one of them. And those are just palettes that I was recommending to everyone generally about like what to get the best fall looks out of. And if you took away this quad, I mean, it was like literally the perfect fall palette, like so many neutrals. But I've just found that like it's just so many browns. And like, what was I thinking? It's just so many browns. It's just another Morphe palette. And I'm a little bit bored with it, and it did survive my declutter, and I don't know why. I think it's for like this yellow and this blue right here that I actually do enjoy using. And I've gotten some pretty nice looks out of this palette. I mean, I've used these shades together, and they've made a really pretty look, and I don't know, like, I've gotten some decent looks out of this, but I just don't find myself reaching for it anymore. It just doesn't excite me like I thought it would when everybody else was buying it. The other two I have are actually, like, palettes that I really wanted. Like, I remember when the hype was real, I really wanted them, and I don't even remember the last time I've used them, and that's the ColourPop Yes Please palette and the Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette, which breaks my heart because I love Kathleen Lights. I love this packaging, and I even really love the color story she created in this, and the shades are really pretty, but I don't know why I always skip over this palette. And the same thing goes for the also the Cute AF palette, the Yes Please palette. I guess with this one, this color story has just been so thrown in my face like a million times over that I'm just kind of tired of looking at it, and I'm not as inspired by this as I once was when it first came out, because I used to really love the red and the orange and the yellow and doing sunset and sunrise looks. I used to love that, so of course I bought it. And I guess the same thing kind of went with this, although this does have like that kind of like black and teal in there and these like duochrome shades, as well as this like bright coral, and they're great quality. But I don't know, whenever I think, I don't know what look to do today, and I look at these palettes, I'm like, oh, there's gotta be something else, you know, like, so I'm gonna pull these out and kind of do like a shop my stash where like I have to use these, especially the Dream Street palette, because I should have no reason not to use this. I love this color story. So, and the same thing goes for my last eyeshadow palette, which is the Flamingo palette by Violet Voss. I love Violet Voss, and this is a colorful palette. Like, oops, I love colorful palettes. However, I don't know what it is about this that I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not reaching for it, which is crazy because I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited past the hype. I got it in the Sephora appreciation sale. Like, I waited for it to go on sale to buy it, which was my plan because I did love it and I wanted to get it on sale. And I don't know, now I'm not reaching for it. And I don't know if that's because I have other palettes that I have bought in the meantime and since buying this palette that have just intrigued me more. But I'm really disappointed in myself for not getting a lot of use out of this, but hype totally sucked me into this. Still on the eyeshadow range, I have the ColourPop Supernova Liquid Shadows. These were, oh my gosh. These came out shortly after the Stila Glitter and Glow Shadows did, so of course everyone was like, again, it's an affordable option for something we really want. Of course, it was so exciting. Everybody wanted them. They started selling out like crazy. And I bought some, and some of these are like really hit and miss. It looks like this one is actually starting to dry. I have a couple of the Stila ones and like their mini versions, and I just found that these are not comparable. Like, ultimately, these really are not comparable at all. This dark green one, which is the one I was most excited about, which is the shade Mothership, which is like a really pretty green kind of color. Green and blue. I mean, look at that. Like, it's a really pretty color. It just does not do well on the eye. It did not layer well. I mean, even after it dried, it cracked really fast. It flaked all over my eye. I didn't necessarily have much of a problem like that with these lighter shades, the more gold ones, but they're just not glittery. That's, I think, the difference between the two, is that they weren't glittery. They were just liquid metallic eyeshadows. This right here is the shade Walk of Fame, this one right here. And they're really shiny, but they're not glittery, which is what I wanted them to be. So since then, they just kind of been sitting in my drawer, and I think I kind of want to reach for them again and like try and make them work, but if I'm gonna put a liquid something on my eye, it's typically going to be a liquid glitter. I have a couple of highlighters that I wanted to talk about, and these are another like kind of disappointment, and I feel like some people will get kind of mad about these, but they're the Fenty Kilowatt Duos. I have two of them. I have Hustler Baby and Mean Money, and I have Lightning Dust Fire Crystal, and these are really beautiful highlighters. The subtle ones I feel like are not as good as the more high voltage ones. These are kind of like a white champagne color. This right here is Lightning Dust, and Fire Crystal right here. Fire Crystal is definitely more blingy and exciting, and Lightning Dust is not a bad subtle highlighter, it's just not something that I reach for. And this is Hustler Baby and Mean Money, and Mean Money is like really not good. I feel like it doesn't really show up on the face at all, but Hustler Baby is a really pretty like gold peach color. It's a little dark for me right now, but it's really pretty in the summer. When I first got these, I used them like constantly, like I mean seriously, like all the time, like it was constant, but recently they have just kind of been in my collection, and I just don't reach for them. I've been reaching for other highlighters over these, and I just found that it's been a while since I got them, and I'm just not as interested in them as I used to be. Probably the most disappointing of this whole thing, that's like a total hype made me buy it and I have not touched it since, is literally the Morphe Babe in Paradise by Bartman Rock. And not to say this is a bad palette, but I bought this, I have not once used this on my face. When did this come out? Like, not even last summer? Was it like a year ago that this came out? It was a long time ago, guys. And I have not once used this. Baby Girl, I thought it was going to be a white highlighter, but it is that, like, gross, pinky, white thing that I hate. This is a lot of gold shades, and I used to really not like gold highlighter. I've since kind of gotten over that, but I found that I just don't really reach for these gold highlighters, and I'm going to hold on to it because it survived my last declutter because I wanted to use it, but most of these shades are just too dark for me. Like these three right here are like far too dark for me, and I still kept it in my collection. I still bought it, and it survived my declutter. That's what also bugs me, is I let this survive thinking I would use it, and every time I look at it I'm just like, ugh, I don't know, I just skip over it. Like I don't actively want to use it. I'm gonna hold on to it purely because I'm going to do another highlighter declutter in a couple of months, like pretty soon after the new year. I plan to do another one, and this will be involved in that. But like, I don't know, just hype. Can't believe, like, I totally got sucked into the packaging and the excitement behind this palette, and I seriously never used it. Never. Now, I did actually use this palette. This is the Becca Chrissy Teigen original collaboration, and I loved it, and I still do love it. I've kept it around, but I just have not used it since that original hype, and honestly, I don't know why, because it's really good. The blush and the bronzer are really, really pretty. This highlighter right here, I believe this is the Rose Gold highlighter, which is this top one up here, is way too dark for me, but the shade Beach Nectar is pretty similar to Mean Money and Hustler Baby, actually, or Hustler Baby now that I'm looking at it. This one right here, if you can see. And it's really pretty. If I shear it out, it looks really gorgeous on the face, but I just have not used it in such... I bought it totally because I was like, it's limited edition, I have to get it fast, and they're still selling this. And I think it was like a year or two ago that I got this. Okay. NYX Lip Lingeries, and honestly, if you remember these, you are an OG, for real. These were the first drugstore liquid lipstick, I mean, that I can remember anyway, and I had almost all of the original collection. I got rid of most of them in my lip declutter. They're old, and like I realized that compared to other brands that are out now, they don't even hold a candle. People just really liked them and were hype about them because they were a drugstore liquid lipstick, and that was when liquid lipstick was first coming out, and everybody was raving about them, and now they're just kind of like a staple lip at this point, and everyone's seen it and done it before. So I'm a little bit over them. I have this one because I really do like this color, and this formula is still good as far as I know, quite frankly. But I do hold on to it for sentimental reasons as well, because I remember like spending like my babysitting money on this. Just so excited by them, and they were an easy way for me to build my lipstick collection. So I don't know, especially this one. This was the shade I wanted the most because it was kind of like a purple color. But I bought them and I used them like a couple of times and then I just never touched them and they just like took up space in my desk. So honestly, I think most people have forgotten that those even exist. So these are all products that hype made me buy and I never touched again. Honestly, unbelievable. These are products, some products I actually like genuinely like want to pull back out in my collection, and that all comes down to me doing a shop my stash and kind of like getting new things out and spending time going through what I have and actually using what I have. These are just things I need to give another try in my collection. Some of them, like I said, are going to be leaving pretty soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. What are some products that you totally bought because of hype and never got any use out of? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.